Hello, Canada. Bienvenue. Tanshi Kiwao. My name is Andrea Menard, and I am a proud Métis woman from Treaty 1 territory. I carry the name Shkotekwe and Notagoyutin, which means fire woman in Anishinaabe and grandmother wind in Cree. Now, I seem to be working my way around the sacred elements, so it's no surprise that I have the pleasure of serving as one of the co-hosts for today's special event, the launch of Land, Water, Ocean, Us, a Canadian ocean literacy strategy. So as a life giver, I am deeply connected to water. I grew up fishing and swimming in rivers and lakes all over the prairie provinces, and now living in the unceded territories of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam peoples for the last 9 years, I have come to love the ocean as well. For those of you tuning in live, let us know in the comments where you are joining us from. Maybe also let us know what the nearest body of water to you is so we can see who's here and what water is here with us. And we also invite you to open up the link in the comments to connect to our event Mentimeter. Anytime over the next 45 minutes, we welcome you to put in a few words in response to the question, what is one impact that you hope to see from this strategy? And after the event, a graphic of all our collective responses will be shared. As a singer, songwriter, an actress and speaker and trainer, I use my voice every day. But today, I use my voice as one of many who've come together in this inspiring Canada-wide effort to co-develop a national strategy, empowering Canadians, all of us, to better understand, value, and care for the ocean and the waterways leading to it. It is my sincere pleasure to now introduce my co-host, another Andrea, the amazing Andrea Brazeau, joining us from her home community in Nunavik.
Nakokmek Andrea ay tunga sugit si ilon na si kangik swalot juami. Upigusok ko nga uhaktiw hataw kaya kanik kanatalimami akisimautit sa muli ngayo bigyan ngaw tinganot. Inutwin na so nga ungabaw imakpinga piruk sa vere si makako kinaw ni kani sukhatit si hataw si mamman. How yimautit sonilo inutwin na ni tinik. En tant qu'Inuk et militant pour le climat, j'ai appris que les gens du Sud se soucient souvent de la fonte des glaciers et de la glace de mer qui affecte à son tour les ours polaires. Mais nous aussi, nous sommes affectés. Avec le changement des habitudes migratoires, les animaux se font plus rares pour les chasseurs. Nous mangeons donc moins d'aliments issus de la nature et sommes obligés d'acheter des aliments moins nutritifs et vendus trop cher au magasin. Nos habitudes changent. Ma grand-mère est née dans une tente sur la vaste territoire. Moi, le mois prochain, j'obtiendrai mon diplôme d'Université du Sud. Tous ces changements sont interreliés. Et c'est pourquoi je suis si fière de soutenir cet effort collaboratif national pour augmenter la connaissance de l'océan et du climat des Canadiens. La connaissance au service de l'action est plus que jamais nécessaire. I now have the honor of introducing Verna McGregor, an Algonquin elder from the community of Kitigan-Zibi Anishinaabe, to offer an opening prayer.
Hello everybody, bonjour tout le monde, Fernandin Dishnikas, Kitigan-Zibi Nindojaba, Wagashnido, Demashichunim Kipenesi. I'm Verna McGregor from Kitigan-Zibi, and I said Fox is my clan, and the Thunderbird on my father's side as well. It was nearly 3 years ago in 2018 that I was invited to offer a welcoming song to the initial workshop for this coalition. And so here we are 3 years later, and you're launching a national strategy. So I say congratulations. Really quickly too as well, I was thinking of this. My grandson woke me up the other morning and out of the blue said, Kokum, which is grandmother, what happens to the oceans when there's global warming? And I looked at him because it was strange, but also it was a reminder that why are we doing this too, as well as it is for the next generation. or the next 7 generations, really, because really one of our teachings is what we do today impacts the next 7 generations. So that's why this whole initiative is so important. So I'm going to say a little prayer. So I say, Miigwech Kajemanido, on Jenny Gashkito, Mama Dose Koshe Nongo, Mama Kakina Pamatsijik, Shwan Mishnon in Abigus, Miigwech Onje Kakina, Kagishan Dononje, Mam de Gain in the Kimenon, Skaki Question Kazo in the Kimenon. We do Quagia Kakina Pamatsijik on Jeo Nagado Amdan Kakina Guch Yan in the Kimenon. Miigwech Kakina Ete Kishakon Kizis, to be Kizis, Shunangshak, we do Quagia, the Nukmisnan. To be Kizis on Jeo Nagado Amdan Kakina Guch Nebi Pangsing, CB Saigan, Shitchikagam. We do Quagia Quayon on Jeo Nagado Amdan Kakina Guch Nebi. Miigwech on Jaya Ishkude, Kakimi Shin Chimino Abjitoya. We do Quagia Kakina in Inua on Jeo Nagado Abadan Kakina Guch Ishkude. Miigwech on Jena Seven, Kagimi Shin Chimino Pamatsia. We do Quagia Kakina Pamatsijik, Tajakosajik Mami COVID-19. Kancheshkwat Nigwede Simen Kego Gajiman Doshkan, Ashitkan and Noshkush Nigwede Simen, we do question in because miigwech. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is thanking the Creator for allowing us to come together and please God our relatives well. Thank you for the earth. Thank you for the water, all the waters of the earth, including the lakes, the rivers, the streams, and the oceans. And please guide the women who are keepers of the water. Thank you for the fire and all its teachings, and please guide the men who are keepers of the fire. And thank you for the air, and please help the ones that are also impacted by this COVID-19. We don't ask things in vain, and we ask that you guide us well. And I say miigwech, which is thank you, and I say it 4 times to honor the 4 directions, the 4 seasons, the 4 elements. So I say miigwech, thank you. Merci.
Miigwech Verna, you have brought us full circle today with your special words. We are grateful for your ongoing support of this initiative. It is now my pleasure to introduce a welcome message by the Ministry of Fisheries, Oceans, and the Canadian Coast Guard, the Honorable Bernadette Jordan, who hails from the South Shore of Nova Scotia, better known as the Ocean's Playground. Minister Jordan is deeply aware of the importance of the ocean on her community and those communities across our vast country and around the world. She has had a strong interest in the work of the UN Decade on Ocean Science for Sustainable Development since it was announced, participating in the North Atlantic Workshop in Halifax in January 2020. Canada is also a founding member of the High-Level Panel for a Sustainable Ocean Economy, and Minister Jordan has been crisscrossing across the country virtually, developing Canada's own Blue Economy strategy. With this brief introduction, please welcome Minister Jordan.
Hello everyone, bonjour. On behalf of the Government of Canada, I want to thank all of you for your efforts to improve ocean literacy in Canada by helping Canadians understand just how vital our ocean is to our own well-being. Like you, I care deeply about our 3 oceans, and I'm so proud to be part of a government that is working hard to protect them. Whether through our scientific research, increasing marine conservation targets, or developing our Blue Economy strategy, we will continue to ensure our oceans remain healthy. Because we know healthy oceans have so much more to give. A healthy ocean reduces greenhouse gas emissions by nearly 20%. A healthy ocean is home to millions of fish and marine life. A healthy ocean is one that industries and workers can rely on. A healthy ocean feeds more mouths, employs more people, and generates more economy for our country. This strategy being released today by the Canadian Ocean Literacy Coalition is a great example of how much more we can achieve when we all work together. As we begin the UN Decade of Ocean Science, this is the type of collaboration and leadership that we need. Thank you for leading the charge on behalf of Canadians and our oceans. Yours is a legacy that will be felt from coast to coast to coast for generations to come.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Ministre, pour votre message. On behalf of the coalition, we are grateful for your engagement and support of today's strategy launch. It is now my pleasure to introduce a brief message from Francesca Santoro, the program specialist of the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO.
On behalf of the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO, I want to congratulate Canada for today's launch of your national strategy on ocean literacy. It is the first time in the world that we see a multi-sectoral ocean literacy national strategy, and I hope this will be a source of inspiration for other countries to join forces to make the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development a successful one.
Thank you, Francesca, for sending along this special message of congratulations. Canada looks forward to collaborating with the IOC, UNESCO, and the global community to ensure a successful UN decade. I would now like to take a moment to recognize a few other of our distinguished guests joining us today. Thank you to Terry Beach, Parliamentary Secretary to Minister Jordan, Will Amos, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Science and Innovation, Patrick Weiler, Liberal MP and Chair of the Pacific Caucus, Darlene Upton, VP of the Protected Area Establishment and Conservation Directorate, and Andrew Campbell, Senior Vice President, Operations, Parks Canada. Today, Land, Water, Ocean, Us, a national strategy created by Canadians for Canadians, is now released out into the world. Seeing this strategy and the implementation plan in English, French, and Inuktitut is truly special, especially knowing the community-led effort and co-development process that brought these documents to life. We'd like to play a short video for you now that shares a little more information about the strategy we're launching today. Wow, quelle belle video. A shout out to the amazing Mary Paquette, by the way, who put that video together, along with all the videos that we'll be watching today. And for all those joining us on Facebook, hi, what did you think? Let us know in the comments. And for anyone just joining, a reminder that you can check out the link in the comments to our event Mentimeter and add a few words in response to the question, what is one impact that you hope to see from this strategy? What is one impact that you hope to see from this strategy? Write it down. Give us your comments. All right. Now it's time to bring in the woman at the helm of this project. If you've followed this journey at all over the past couple of years, you will know for yourselves that only a real force of nature could have brought this project from idea to today's strategy launch in such a short time, particularly given the current global pandemic. With a keen eye for detail and enormous capacity for relationship building and her reputation as a relentless pace setter, her leadership has inspired confidence across the board. Welcome now to Colk's National Coordinator, Diz Glithero. Hello, Diz.
Thank you, Andrea. Nakumik, Andrea. Miigwech Verna. Merci beaucoup, Minister Jordan et Francesca. And a warm hello and sincere thanks to each of you joining today to celebrate the launch of the Canadian Ocean Literacy Strategy. We made it.
Diz, I know we only have a couple minutes here, but I have to ask, would you really describe yourself as a relentless pace setter?
Well, seeing that the intro was written by my colleagues, I guess that might be your answer.
All right. Well, I do have a couple questions for you to give the folks at home a bit of insight into this whole strategy co-development process. Es-tu prête?
Allons-y.
In the strategy document, the 2-year journey and engagement process are outlined in a beautiful weaving timeline graphic. And it looks like a heck of a lot of collaborations took place, or maybe a marathon of consultations, more like it. Has this been challenging for you and your team?
In many ways, the collaborative process has been both, our greatest challenge and our greatest strength. The coalition was founded on a community established mandate. That spirit of co-creation, collaboration, it's been crucial to building new relationships, breaking down silos, connecting people, ideas, initiatives, and empowering overall a coordinated national framework for action. And all while making sure local community voices and regional priorities came out loud and clear. They have, I think. This has been a beautiful process to witness, and it's been a privilege to be a part of. And yes, on the flip side, the challenge of this process has been that in order to honor the community that we built, we must essentially listen and answer to everyone across all sectors, across all regions. As you can imagine, it's not an easy task. But, with an amazing all-women team of regional coordinators and research assistants, each of whom are gifted listeners and relationship builders, we were able to facilitate an extensive co-development and review process in a very tight timeline and budget.
Would you say that this style of engagement, collaborative, community-led, will be helpful as you head into the implementation phase?
Absolutely. And we're very mindful that there's many more essential voices that still need to be heard. But we now have this incredible community, this foundation, this wave of momentum to put this strategy into action in really meaningful ways, both at the national and community level.
Thanks, Diz. And aside from acknowledging the research team, any other brief thank yous you want to make?
Yes, for sure. I'd love to take a moment to thank our fleet of funding partners. This project had a $1 million budget or so to date, and over 20 funding partners spanning government, academic, NGO, and philanthropic sectors. Our funding makeup reflects the coalition spirit, and a heartfelt thanks today to all of you shown here for your incredible support, your trust, and your collaboration. And specific to this event and all the strategy launch outputs, I'd like to thank Fisheries and Oceans Canada, MEOPAR, the Canadian Commission for UNESCO, and Ocean Networks Canada for your generous support.
Merci beaucoup, Diz. Nous inviterons à nouveau Super pour nous parler un peu des prochaines étapes. Alors, reste avec nous. Afin de célébrer le lancement de la stratégie, nous avons créé 3 courts vidéo à partir de messages qui ont été partagés par des partenaires de partout au pays. La première que nous allons vous présenter aide à tracer le portrait de l'océan mondial et explique la motivation derrière ce projet national.
We call the Earth the blue planet because it's covered in so much water. And of all the other planets that we've discovered, we've yet to find another one of these. And if our planet wasn't blue, we wouldn't be here because life came from water. So what are we doing to protect and preserve the cradle of life? Well, we're eating all the other life that's in it. We're throwing our garbage in it, and we're heating it up. That's not sustainable. So to preserve and protect the oceans, it's going to take some good science communication, and generally ocean literacy.
It turns out that the ocean contains the switch of life. And it also turns out that the ocean is changing in lockstep with climate change. So all that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is making the ocean turn warm, breathless, and sour, the toxic trio. I think it's critically important that we understand that, because I think with knowledge comes power and the permission to act. We finally have some of the tools to start making that happen. Here we are heading into the UN Decade of the Ocean. Plus, for the first time, we have a Canadian ocean literacy strategy. It's time.
And when I was invited into this project, I thought, what do coal miners and ranchers and heavy-duty mechanics have to do with the ocean, Canada being a coastal nation? And my question to people was, what does humanity and ocean, if we could speak the same language, what would we talk about? What would we say to one another? The answers were varied and provocative, from ocean memories to plastics and politics and apologies. There was grief expressed over our use of the ocean. And I wrote everything here on these canvases. There's lyrics, there's poetry, descriptions, the use of the arts in having these hard conversations is a really powerful platform because it evokes our heart and it goes beyond academic discussion.
All along Canada's coasts, there are fishing communities, there are Indigenous communities who rely and depend on the ocean. In order to care for the ocean effectively, we need to understand the ocean, and we need to understand our relationship with the ocean. I really commend the collaborative process and the outputs of the Canadian Ocean Literacy Strategy.
Every year it's different. Like it can get warm, or it can get very cold. The water sea level has risen a little bit ever since I was 13.
Well, I've noticed that there's less beach to walk on, and there's a lot of permafrost melting. You can see here, there's a lot of erosion happening.
Those are things that I go to bed worrying about, whether or not there are going to be char in 40 or 50 years in Nunavut, or what's going to happen to our caribou. And these are all linked to climate change, and so that's what really drives me to work on behalf of this issue.
I just think that kids should be very aware of climate change, and I think that we should all take it serious because we are the next generation and we could make a change in the world.
Merci à tous nos partenaires de nous avoir envoyé ces magnifiques messages et de nous avoir aidés à mieux comprendre la nécessité de la stratégie. For anyone joining us live, did you see any familiar faces? Again, as a reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to open up the link on the Facebook chat that will take you to our event Mentimeter. Adding a few words in response to the question, what is one impact you hope to see from this strategy, to help capture a visual reaction from the audience today? Comme nous l'avons appris au cours des 2 dernières années, nos relations avec l'océan sont de toute taille et de toute forme. Écoutons maintenant les messages de la deuxième vidéo pour en apprendre davantage sur la connaissance de l'océan partout au pays.
Lucia Mencia, Hochia, Hochachanek Tracia, Chi Oxton Grimps Naska Ognish Scamo, Hochach Scamo Slolum, Sko Ognish. Thank you, each and every one of you, for allowing me to share the paddle song from the Squamish people, a song that our people used to travel on the waters of our ancestors, to travel on the waters in a good way.
Félicitations pour cette belle stratégie. Donia, moi, Maryse et toute l'équipe Omareuse sommes tellement honorés de faire partie de cette belle stratégie. Travailler tout ensemble en vue de bien coexister avec les océans, c'est d'ailleurs une de nos priorités.
Oui, d'autant plus qu'on représente plus de 1000 pêcheurs à travers le Nouveau-Brunswick, la Nouvelle-Écosse, et ils sont tous en action pour leur océan et leur communauté. Principalement des pêcheurs de homards, miam miam.
On est tellement fiers de mener des projets de sciences que les pêcheurs initient et de pouvoir ensuite partager toutes ces belles connaissances avec tout le monde.
Canada has the longest coastline in the world, and the majority of Canadians live inland. The Aquavan provides a unique, hands-on learning opportunity, allowing people to understand their relationship with the ocean and the animals that call it home.
I know that every conscious decision I make, every positive action I take, and all the energy I put into making sure the ocean is healthy and happy, she reciprocates.
The ocean connects us all. As we mirror our love to one another, in the generations before and the ones to come, we teach each other how to restore and remember this great gift that we are and all that we can share.
The relationship we hold to the ocean is testament to our very existence. Folk owners make their living from the ocean just as we have for 400 years. The place-based approach in this co-developed National Ocean Literacy Strategy aligns with our own work. Shorefast builds upon the inherent knowledge of our community. By working with local fishers, researchers, and scientists, we deepen our collective knowledge.
Well, hello from the Yukon and Canada's most westerly community of Beaver Creek on the White River First Nation territory. Well, in honor of today's National Ocean Literacy Strategy, I'd love to play you a little bit of one of my songs. We're connected to the oceans, no matter where we live, there's something we can do. It's really up to me and you. Care for the oceans. And from the kids in the school,
wow. Those messages are amazing. They're moving, thoughtful, celebratory, urgent, calling us onwards to act. And there are many more messages and longer versions that couldn't fit into today's short event. So all of today's videos will be made available on the Kolk website. Be sure to check out all the videos after the event. And Diz, let's bring you back in here for a couple more minutes. I hear that the new Kolk website is also live today.
Yes, indeed, the new website, it's up and running. And you can find all sorts of information on ocean literacy in Canada there, including the reports from the 2019-2020 Understanding Ocean Literacy in Canada study. We've got the strategy and implementation plan, of course, in French, Inuktitut, and English. And we have another new tool that we're excited to share with you today, launching today, called the Canadian Ocean Literacy Map and Database.
Ah, okay. So for the folks at home, what is this map and database for, and who can use it?
The map was designed by an amazing coalition partner, NEVA, a science communications organization in Ottawa. The map's an interactive tool that anyone can use to learn about hundreds of ocean literacy initiatives taking place across the country. This was put together based on initiatives that were identified by our research team during the national study last year. the map and database reflects just how much important work is happening from coast to coast to coast, touching on everything from education programs, community-based water monitoring, workforce training.
Can initiatives still be added to the map and database?
Yes, that's the point. What's on the map now is just the start. So all are welcome to explore and add initiatives to the map and database. Keep it growing, reflecting, and connecting the different ocean and water and climate literacy related initiatives happening across the country. And this spring, we plan to integrate a new tool into the map called the Canadian Ocean Action Streams Tracker. To avoid that mouthful, COAST. And COAST is intended to track the community-led projects across the country that are specifically advancing one or more of the 9 action streams outlined in the strategy. The idea is that this tool, it's going to provide a useful barometer over the course of the United Nations Ocean Decade as to how ocean literacy initiatives are growing, engaging Canadians, and having impact.
All right. So Diz, that all sounds great, but I have to ask, what happens now? The strategy is now officially launched. So what are the next steps? And how can people get involved? And where is help still needed?
That's the $1 million question, Andrea. And many have said, now the real work begins, moving the needle on each of these 9 action streams. Indeed, a lot of hard work lies ahead. But as we kick off the implementation phase today, there's 3 ways that we can get involved right away. The first is joining an action team. There's a dedicated action team for each of the 9 action streams outlined in the strategy. Action teams are designed to provide coordinated leadership on a national scale. So we're going to need representatives across regions, organizations, sectors to make sure these teams offer as many diverse perspectives, expertise, and skills as possible. And already dozens of organizations have reached out offering to join a team, which is fantastic, but we need more. So if you see an action stream that aligns directly with your personal or your organization's expertise and capacity, and you're keen to play a leadership role at a national level, then reach out to the project office directly. Along with this national level, though, we've also heard loud and clear that there needs to be momentum and support at a community level. And at this level, there's 2 ways to get involved right away. So first, touching back to the Ocean Literacy Map and Database, go check that out. And if your initiative, it doesn't appear on the map yet, then add it. It takes 5 minutes. So it's a great way to get involved and start to be tracked within the COAST tool. Secondly, you can help to establish and support the Canadian Ocean Literacy Community Microgrant Program. And although raising funds to support all action streams and the implementation of the strategy overall is important over the coming months, kickstarting the Community Microgrant Program is our first priority. So securing and leveraging funding to support these champions on the ground in communities, educators, program leaders, monitors, artists, storytellers, and more. These folks are vital to engaging Canadians in hands-on, meaningful ways that have impact, change behaviors, and empower action.
Merci pour ces informations, Diz. Il y a certainement beaucoup de travail qui nous attend dans les prochaines années, mais c'est encourageant et excitant de savoir qu'il y aura plusieurs façons de prendre part aux prochaines étapes. Il y a également beaucoup de place accordée à la collaboration et au leadership partagé. Nous espérons que la communauté continuera à appuyer activement la mise en œuvre de la stratégie. Écoutons maintenant quelques messages de nos partenaires qui nous aident à tourner le regard vers l'avenir et à réfléchir à comment nous pouvons tous nous retrousser les manches et continuer à faire avancer la connaissance de l'océan au Canada. Partagez vos pensées avec nous dans les commentaires. Comment allez-vous aider à faire avancer la connaissance de l'océan?
Through exhibitions such as our water gallery, the museum explores the beauty and diversity of life in our oceans, rivers, and lakes. We want to inspire Canadians to take care of this life-giving resource and also to be aware of the human impact through challenges such as ocean plastics. We believe that a healthy ocean will make for a happy future. Ocean literacy matters, and we look forward to being part of the solution.
And you think about it, all this water, like all of Canada's water, runs to the ocean. And more importantly, we've got fish and birds that are going back and forth between the ocean to Lake Ontario. And I love the action item, the idea that community-based water monitoring hubs are the way to go in the future to connect data and share it with Canadians. Really excited about that. So thanks a lot for having Swim, Drink, Fish participate, and just so excited to see where this goes from here.
I work to bring the beauty, the mystery, the fragility from these cold, dark waters to the surface for fellow Canadians. Because if we have a bias away to warm water, not understanding it's the dark, plankton-rich waters that sustain more life, how can we be the consumers, the voters, the leaders, and the parents we need to be?
Amalo inusibu tamatsumunga pitutsimalagimat tan hawi majato habut ilaw hatta searealik to kitara sualak patasilak tuamingo hatigi tamatsumunga imakpimun ilingayunik pihuya diolak pataluni hangatuin namalu tamani sa Canada.
Ocean literacy is key to growing awareness in the sustainable blue economy, and that's why it features as one of the core building blocks of our Blue Futures Pathways program. Ocean literacy also increases career opportunities by helping to attract young, underrepresented talent, breaking down barriers and strengthening diversity in our ocean and water sectors.
Canada is an ocean nation. To grow our ocean economy in a sustainable, digital, and inclusive way is one of the most important opportunities of our time. To be able to do this, we need to create awareness, to attract talent, and to build capabilities from the Arctic to the Pacific to the Atlantic and everywhere in between. This is about building our future in ocean.
I'm also feeling very hopeful that the Canadian government, as well as many other countries, have announced a commitment to protect 30% of the oceans by 2030.
La mission Santon a retiré plus de 122 tonnes de déchets des cours d'eau partout au Canada et même ailleurs dans le monde. En plus de retirer les déchets de plastique des cours d'eau, la mission Santon mobilise les citoyens, les entreprises et les politiciens pour restaurer la santé de nos cours d'eau et de nos océans. La connaissance sur les océans est au cœur de notre travail. Vous pouvez donc compter sur nous pour la suite des actions.
Greetings from the shores of the Atlantic. On behalf of the Ocean Frontier Institute and Ocean School, we wish to congratulate the Canadian Coalition for Ocean Literacy to their launch. We're proud supporters of the coalition from day one, and we're very excited to work with you in the future. And in order to do that, let's all get wet.
Ocean Networks Canada is just delighted to become the new administrative home for the Canadian Ocean Literacy Coalition. We've been a member of the coalition since the very beginning. And Ocean Networks Canada aligns with the coalition because our tagline is Know the Ocean. And we do that by ocean observing from coast to coast to coast that serves not only science, but society and industry that will grow the blue economy. This year couldn't be more timely for the next phase of the coalition because it's the start of the UN Decade of Ocean Science. And here at Ocean Networks Canada, we are all ready to do our part.
Tellement inspirant d'entendre les messages de nombreuses personnes et organisations qui contribuent à ce travail. And thank you to those who have joined us on Facebook Live today and for sharing your comments with us. As we come into the final moments of our event today, your contributing words to our event Mentimeter will be transformed into a visual product that we will share with you via social media this afternoon. Nagukmig to all of you for tuning in today, and I will pass the mic back to my co-host to close the event.
Marcy and Nakumik, Andrea. Launching this Canadian Ocean Literacy Strategy and Implementation Plan would have not been possible without the generous support provided by so many of you, whether you participated in the national study last year, helped to review the documents being launched today, contributed funds to this co-development process, shared any of this work with your friends, family, colleagues, and networks, or showed up today for the first time to learn about the strategy and ways to get involved moving forward. À vous tous, merci, 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 nanaskum ten miigwech. Thank you. The work, as we have heard, doesn't stop here. But we are so grateful to be able to take this moment today to come together and celebrate this milestone of ocean literacy in Canada. Land, Water, Ocean, Us, a Canadian ocean literacy strategy is now available on Colt's website in English, French, and Inuktitut. Read, share, discuss, and of course, get involved. Use the hashtag Land, Water, Ocean, Us, or hashtag Terre, Eau, Océan, Nous, en français. Share on social media so we can hear from you. And on behalf of my co-host, Andrea Brazeau, thank you to Diz and the entire project team for gathering us all today. It's been a pleasure. Merci à tous ceux qui ont participé aujourd'hui et à la prochaine. Merci.
We're connected to the ocean, rolling waves, salty sea, all that seems so familiar to me. In my blood, in my soul, I need the ocean to make me whole. Though I live a long way away, I feel the pull of your tides, a part of each and every breath. I carry you deep inside, 'cause we're connected to the ocean. We're connected from sea to sea to sea. We're connected to the ocean. No matter where we live, there's something we can do. It's really up to me and you. Care for the ocean. Water here in the air, part of the great ocean everywhere. From the streets out to the sea, water cycling endlessly. If it gets dirty along the way, the poisons end up on your shore. We're slowly draining the life from you. Can't take you for granted anymore, 'cause we're connected to the ocean. We're connected from sea to sea to sea. We're connected to the ocean. No matter where we live, there's something we can do. It's really up to me and you. Care for the ocean. Full of life, deep and true. If only we all could be like you. You always give, home of our birth, keeping the balance for all of the earth. Now it's time to give back to you, instead of just take and take. Respect and protect and care for you. Let's act now for the future's sake, 'cause we're connected to the ocean. We're connected from sea to sea to sea. We're connected to the ocean. No matter where we live, there's something we can do. It's really up to me and you. Care for the ocean.